In the dimly lit, cramped dorm room of Ivy Hollow College, Sarah, a curious and adventurous college student, stumbled across an old, dusty book hidden beneath a pile of textbooks. It was bound in worn leather and adorned with faded sigils that hinted at its otherworldly nature. Ignoring the warning signs, her fingers brushed over the strange symbols, and a shiver ran down her spine. With an eager curiosity that betrayed her naivete, Sarah opened the book to reveal pages filled with ancient incantations and dark spells. Each page seemed to pulse with an eerie energy. Unbeknownst to her, she had just unleashed a malevolent force that would soon plunge her world into chaos. Sarah, intrigued and reckless, began to recite one of the spells. The words flowed from her lips, and her fingers traced the arcane symbols. Ad fligo obscurus, she chanted softly, her voice trembling. Unseen forces stirred around her, and an eerie wind swept through the room. Shadows danced, and the temperature plummeted. The very air seemed to quiver with an ominous energy. As the incantation reached its crescendo, Sarah lost control of the spell. Dark tendrils shot out from the book, latching onto various objects in the room. The dorm room came alive with supernatural activity. Chairs levitated, books flew off shelves, and the walls seemed to breathe. Panic washed over Sarah as she struggled to regain control. Outside, the chaos began to spread. Other students in the dormitory were affected by the malevolent magic. Dormitory corridors twisted and turned, trapping students in a maze of shifting walls. Terrifying apparitions manifested, sending blood-curdling screams echoing through the building. Chaos reigned supreme, and Ivy Hollow College was plunged into a nightmarish ordeal. Days turned into nights, and the once tranquil campus became a battleground for the supernatural. Sarah desperately searched for a way to reverse the spell, but the book offered no guidance. She was trapped in a nightmare of her own making, unable to stop the malevolent magic she had unleashed. Unknown to Sarah, the book she had found belonged to a vengeful witch named Isolde, who had been seeking it for centuries. The chaotic energy emanating from Ivy Hollow College drew her like a moth to a flame. Isolde, a spectral figure cloaked in darkness, arrived on campus with a singular purpose: to retrieve her spellbook and exact her revenge. In the dead of night, Isolde tracked Sarah to her dorm room, her presence causing the shadows to deepen and the temperature to plummet further. Petrosina Esurio, Isolde intoned, and the dorm room door swung open, revealing a terrified Sarah. Isolde's eyes glinted with malevolence as she confronted the college student who had unwittingly stolen her magic. With a wave of her hand, Isolde imprisoned Sarah within an ornate mirror that had once hung on the dorm room wall. Sarah's reflection writhed in agony as she tried to escape her glass prison, but it was futile. Isolde then chanted a chilling incantation: Imago transmutatio. Her reflection in the mirror began to shift and change, morphing into Sarah's likeness. Isolde emerged from the mirror, now bearing Sarah's appearance. She was a perfect doppelganger, right down to the last detail. With malevolent glee, Isolde set out to wreak havoc among Sarah's friends and the remaining students of Ivy Hollow College. As Isolde, the malicious witch, roamed the campus, her illusion was perfect. She whispered dark incantations that summoned terrifying creatures and manipulated the minds of the students, turning them against each other. Friendships crumbled, and chaos continued to reign. Tragedy struck when some students, consumed by paranoia and fear, met untimely ends at the hands of their own friends. The college descended into madness, and no one could discern the truth from the illusion. Isolde reveled in the chaos she had sown, relishing the despair and fear that had taken hold of the once thriving campus. As the malevolent witch continued to cast her spells and manipulate the students, the future of Ivy Hollow College grew darker with each passing day. And so, the nightmare endured, with no end in sight. The fate of Sarah, trapped within the mirror, remained uncertain, and the witch Isolde reveled in the chaos she had unleashed. The echoes of her sinister laughter haunted the college, promising that the horrors were far from over. Weeks passed since the malevolent witch Isolde had imprisoned Sarah within the mirror, casting a wicked glamour spell to take on her appearance and continue sowing chaos among the students of Ivy Hollow College. Little did Isolde know that Sarah's roommate, Emily, had sensed something amiss in her friend's sudden transformation. One gloomy evening, Emily hesitantly approached the mirror that now held Sarah's captive reflection. The glass surface rippled with an unnatural energy as Emily whispered Sarah's name. "Sarah, can you hear me?" For a moment, the distorted reflection stilled, and Sarah's voice, faint but filled with desperation, echoed from within the glass. "Emily, it's me. I'm trapped in here. You have to help me." Emily's heart pounded as she realized the enormity of the situation. With a trembling hand, she touched the mirror's surface, feeling a surge of cold energy. "What happened, Sarah? Who did this to you?" Sarah explained her foolish act of reciting the spell from the book, and how Isolde had trapped her and assumed her identity to wreak havoc upon the college. Emily's eyes widened with realization as she remembered an old tale told by her grandmother about a high priestess, Annalise, who had been rumored to reside and teach at Ivy Hollow College. Annalise was said to possess immense magical powers, and her ancestors had fought against dark forces for centuries. Determined to save her friend, Emily embarked on a quest to find Annalise, the High Priestess, and seek her help in defeating Isolde. She knew that only the combined power of the High Priestess and the magic contained within the Book of Spells could put an end to the chaos that had engulfed the college. Emily scoured the campus for clues and eventually uncovered a hidden enclave deep within the college library. There, amidst forgotten tomes and ancient scrolls, she found a diary that had once belonged to Annalise. The diary contained information about Isolde and the dark deeds she had committed in the past. With newfound determination, Emily set out to locate Annalise, who had secluded herself in the depths of the college woods, away from the prying eyes of students. She approached the High Priestess with Sarah's plight, recounting the tale of the malevolent witch and her reign of terror. Annalise listened intently, her eyes flashing with a mixture of anger and resolve. "I knew the day would come when Isolde would return," she said in a solemn voice. "She seeks the power contained within that cursed book of spells, and we must stop her." Together, Emily and Annalise hatched a plan to confront Isolde. Armed with ancient incantations and spells passed down through generations of high priestesses, they prepared for a spiritual war unlike any Ivy Hollow College had ever seen. As the night fell, Isolde, still masquerading as Sarah, sensed a shift in the atmosphere. Emily and Annalise, cloaked in a shimmering protective barrier, confronted her in the heart of the campus. The malevolent witch's eyes narrowed as she recognized the high priestess. Emily spoke with unwavering determination, her voice carrying the weight of generations of high priestesses. Isolde, your reign of terror ends now. Release Sarah and surrender the Book of Spells. Isolde responded with a chilling incantation, summoning dark shadows to do her bidding. Obscurum tenebris, Annalise countered with a powerful incantation of her own, channeling the strength of her ancestors. Luminis exuro. The two forces clashed, casting brilliant flashes of light and enveloping the college grounds in a spectral war. Spells collided with each other, creating shockwaves that reverberated through the campus. Emily watched in awe as the high priestess displayed her incredible mastery over magic, drawing upon the ancestral spirits for strength. The battle raged on, with Isolde growing weaker as her dark forces waned. Emily and Annalise's unwavering resolve proved stronger than Isolde's malevolence. In a final, desperate attempt, Isolde hurled a devastating spell towards Emily, who deflected it with a powerful counter-incantation. The spell rebounded and struck Isolde, weakening her further. With a triumphant incantation, Annalise summoned the collective energy of her ancestors and bound Isolde in ethereal chains. The malevolent witch let out a blood-curdling scream as she was dragged back into the mirror from which she had emerged. The spiritual war had ended, and Ivy Hollow College was finally free from Isolde's dark reign. Emily, still trembling from the intensity of the battle, approached the mirror. With a determined gesture, she released Sarah from her glass prison. As Sarah emerged, her face filled with relief and gratitude, Annalise stepped forward, scolding her gently. You must learn to respect the power of magic, young one. It is not to be trifled with. With a heavy sigh, Sarah nodded, chastened by the consequences of her actions. Annalise, her task complete, retrieved the cursed Book of Spells and placed it within a secure, hidden chamber, ensuring it would never be found again. With Ivy Hollow College once more at peace, Emily, Sarah, and Annalise joined forces to rebuild what had been lost and protect the college from the forces of darkness that lurked beyond the veil of reality. The echoes of the spiritual battle would serve as a grim reminder to all who walked the campus, and the knowledge of its existence would remain hidden, known only to those who dared to venture into the shadows of Ivy Hollow.
Tune in next time for another grueling tale on portals of terror.